very quickly, which festival should you go to? So I went to all the festivals last year, all the fruit festivals. I was at all of them. Well, when I say all of them, all the kind of national ones, not the national ones, but the ones that had, I guess, countries in the name. Because you could say that, Doug Graham's, or the various retreats, Doug Graham's retreats and Chris Kendall's, and who else does retreats? I think everyone does retreats. It's Dr. Sam, and loads of people do various retreats throughout the year. Grant Campbell. So I didn't make all the retreats, but and all the smaller events, but I did make most of the major festivals, and those in order were the Danish Festival, Fresh Foods Festival, Slovenian Fruit Festival, Fruits and Health Festival, Woodstock Fruit Festival, and then the Spanish Puro Festival. And in terms of which one you should go to, I just think you should go to as many as you can, if you can, and just whichever one fits in with your time schedule, travel abilities. They were all basically they were all great. They were all great. They were all worth going to for sure. You won't be disappointed, I don't think. But the small differences. Denmark and Spain are, Denmark and Slovenia are. They are kind of smaller events than Woodstock. So Woodstock's the biggest event. Spain and Slovenia are smaller. Spain is probably slightly smaller than, maybe about the same size as Slovenia, maybe, or it was last year. Denmark's been going the longest. It's been going a long time. It's very well run, really good location. They're excellent at getting the fruit right, so they've got ripe fruit all the time. That's some people complained or said, Woodstock didn't have ripe this or ripe that, or didn't have ripe fruit on time. Denmark had perfect ripe fruit, like all the time. They had the best strawberries ever, organic Danish strawberries. Great events, really good team working on that one. They've been doing it quite a while. And Petr Cech, who was running it, has passed it on to my friend Louise. No doubt that she'll do a great job as well. And the speakers there, Doug Graham, Ros Graham, Grant Campbell. Who else is speaking? I think Chris Kendall's doing the kitchen there this year. And he's not doing the kitchen at Woodstock apparently, so if you want to experience Chris Kendall's cooking or uncooking, you have to go to Denmark, or one of Chris Kendall's events, I suppose. And maybe he's doing the kitchen in Slovenia as well, I'm not sure. But he's going to be in Slovenia, and I'll speak about the UK Fruit Fest at the end. Quickly, what else I need to say about Denmark? So they had Erik Carlson, he was speaking, and Louise was speaking herself. Louise has got a really great story about how she was really, really ill and completely recovered on a fruit-based 80-10-10 style diet. Then I went to Slovenia, and that was the first year it was put on. With a very, very small difference between, one of the small things I would say is that Denmark and Scandinavia, I guess this is maybe a characteristic of Scandinavia, has more very fluent English speakers. So it's slightly more easy to get involved in conversations in Denmark for me as an English speaker. Slovenia had a lot more people from the Eastern European countries, and their English was not as sharp, but they were still very good. Still mostly spoke English. This is a silly thing to bring up, but it's just something I noticed, that at Denmark it almost felt like English was one of the main languages, and also just to explain, the lectures and things are generally, and the announcements are in English for most of the festivals, all of them I think. So what am I getting at here? And just in Slovenia, there was people that their English wasn't very good. It wasn't in Denmark. Basically everyone was really good English. I think that's just a Scandinavian trait. So that's a very minor thing, but it just meant that I got to hang out with Grant Campbell a bit more, and some of the English speaking It sounds a bit dumb, but yeah, just it was, you know, the conversations with some people weren't as easy because of the accent and the English. So Slovenia, once again, it was a kind of similar crowd of teachers: Doug Graham, Ross Graham, Grant Campbell, and I would say they're all, and that in themselves is worth going, worth learning from those teachers. If you have read 8 to 10, or you've seen Doug Graham speak before or whatever, and you think you know it all, I really advise that you rethink your thinking on that and go back, and you know, it's like the Zen, what's the Zen mind thing? No mind, or not no mind, but empty your cup. Yeah, empty your cup, and go with a perspective to learn more, because there's so much more experience and knowledge there. Ros Graham, if you've not seen her speak, if you're a Woodstock person, you've not seen Ros Graham, hopefully, I mean, she'll probably be at Woodstock someday, if she can get in the country, you know. If America allows this genius, amazing, talented person to come in and educate its people. If America allows that. That's just an amazing, she's a fantastic speaker. We were in tears. There was a she spoke at Slovenia. Slovenia was a really good, like, you know, almost spiritual vibe about it, like this very loving spiritual vibe about the whole thing. And Ros Graham gave a speech, and we were all like crying at the end of it. She really believes, like, the raw vegan diet is like humanity rising from the ashes of the cooked food, the evil kind of cooked food world. You know, it's just brilliant the way she puts it. We were all like crying, and the damage that we've done on nature and everything. She went into all this, and we all ended up hugging because we were crying so much. It was like a crazy hugging, crying moment. I'm sure everyone remembers it clearly. It was quite amazing. Yeah, we had a kind of weird spiritual night as well around this campfire in Slovenia, and we were all praying and stuff. It was just all spontaneously happening. You know, these amazing things happen at these fruit events. And that's one of the things, the class of people you get there, very inspiring people, often very creative people, very open-minded, spiritual, and obviously very fit, healthy, good-looking, attractive people. But who was the most attractive festival? That would be a good question to go into. And I'm not going to answer that. So, where am I going? So Slovenia was awesome as well. A bit farther away for people in the UK, a bit farther away than Denmark. A little bit more expensive to fly to. So just a little expense issues, but really fantastic. Another fantastic event, and you should really go. Woodstock is probably worth its own video on its own. It's been really bashed recently by a lot of people that haven't been, and by people that have been. so basically Woodstock is a phenomenal movement that will continue to grow regardless of what's happened, and will create massive change in the world, probably. And it is definitely worth the price. It's worth the money. Meeting, I don't know, 40, 50, 60 incredible people, and spending time with them and staying in contact with them. You're talking about that's priceless, you know. For everything else is MasterCard, you know. Woodstock's priceless. So that's a quick one about Woodstock, but it could do another whole video on that. Spain is the different, very different festival to the rest. So Spain was no speakers, no lecturers, no kind of not even a very set schedule about anything. so it was very like you weren't sure if a class was going to be on or not, so you turn up to a discussion or something and then it wasn't really on. So that's one of the disadvantages of not having, you know, set speakers and things, maybe that things sometimes weren't running quite on time, or or whatever. But that was quite a nice thing as well, because things were very, very relaxed. It was incredibly relaxed. There was hammocks there, so everyone was like in hammocks most of the time, relaxing. Really beautiful location down by this lake, phenomenal lake that me and my friends were walking up and down. Beautiful swimming in this amazing lake. I've got videos of all that in my I've got a playlist of all these festivals actually, so have a look. And I've got blogs about all of them at my blog. What else about Spain? Great food. So in terms of the food at the festivals, Woodstock had like the most complex. I thought it was really delicious. A lot of people were kind of a wee bit complaining that it was like too high fat or too complex or not good for their digestion or whatever. But like, I just loved it. Like the raw lasagna and the the tahini, whatever. I don't know, some kind of lots of seeds in it mixture thing. I don't know. I loved it all. I loved all that stuff because I don't really make good salads, so it's great to get that kind of gourmet food for me. So Woodstock's pretty standout for the food. Denmark, the ripe fruit thing, perfect. Slovenia, pretty amazing for the ripe fruit thing. And they had a lot of local. They had it was kind of getting into the season for figs, and what was the other thing they had? Like stone fruits, amazing nectarines and stuff at Slovenia. It's interesting how these festivals they go through different seasons. So, Denmark, you're getting these great Pakistani mangoes and stuff, and the great strawberries and all that. So yeah, Slovenia had some very different fruit because it was all the stone fruit and stuff. They grow a lot of fruit in that region of the world, which I didn't realise. So, but going back to Spain, just the fig mania, absolute figtastic. Figtastic. We just had figs for like the first 4 days until the figs ran out, basically. So I've never really had amazing figs before, so having boxes of them was brilliant. Great. The mangoes were kind of not quite ripe yet. Unfortunate, I think they're saying that it'll be very seasonal with the Spain festival, but they have the ripe, organic, very local fruit. There was this Spanish dude, this local farmer that was just turning up and giving us his figs that he'd picked that morning. This guy Diego, he was just a wonderful guy. Oh, he was so lean as well. He's like the leanest guy I've ever seen, and very kind of powerful, strong guy, and apparently a really good cyclist or whatever. But he was delivering us figs, and he had this mad hat on, so he was really quite a character. And so. Yeah, and there was, I don't know if I should really say this, but for those people who are into the whole naked fruitarian society of naked fruitarians, Spain pretty much wins for nudity. And it also wins for just diversity of weird, the other events are quite 80-10-10. Spain isn't really 80-10-10, it's like, they were just like serving, I don't know, not high. It's still basically 80-10-10, but there was more, I don't know, garlic and avocados and things like that going on, and a lot of people that weren't 80-10-10ers were there, and who did different styles of raw and instinctivore and all this kind of unusual European stuff. And there was a lot of French people at the Spanish festival. You don't really meet any French people anywhere else. I don't really understand why. So one of the biggest countries in Europe, and you trying to find a French person at one of these festivals is like impossible. Seriously. But in Spain, they were like all there, and they were all crazy. So I got into an argument with one guy, but we won't get into that. Where are we going to go with this? This is already quite a long video, but that's. I hope that gives you something to think about. Get passionate about it, go and enjoy it and take part and promote the movement. That's one of the things I thought of when I went to these festivals, that I'm kind of donating helping these events out by going. I'm donating money to the event, to the movement. So I didn't think too much about, oh, it's too much money, or, you know, can I go or can't I? I just kind of thought, this is a good thing I'm putting my money into for myself and for the countries involved and the people involved. So please make an effort to go and support the festivals. And my own festival, UK Fruit Fest, myself and friends are putting on from the 25th to the 29th of June in Duvale Priory, Devon, England. Be there or be square. We've got all the 8, 10, 10 Team Food and Sport crowd coming, and we're going to have a strongman event. We're going to have, I don't know, the things that our imaginations can create essentially within the next few months. We're going to put on something special for people, so we hope as many of you can make it as possible. So thank you. Bye.